Well, let's get a check on the commodities market now. We see the price of a crate of egg in Nigeria. That's dropped sharply according to FDC data there, about 14% drop there, and has remained steady for several months. Yet we're still seeing chicken prices there. That's staying stable, but that's supposed to be closely tied to egg production, but it's held firmly, at this point. What's driving that? That's left a couple of analysts puzzled at this point. Let's bring in Alamin Vincent now as an analyst, financial director of this company. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
All right, so what's driving the prices down sharply?
Come again?
What's driving the price of eggs down sharply? And, I did speak to someone earlier. They said that eggs are still expensive in some parts of, Lagos. Well, your data is showing us that egg prices have dropped significantly, about 10 to 15%. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, that's correct. Egg prices are dropping about 15% currently. And this is mainly due to the drop in price of poultry feed ingredients like maize. As we both know, we are currently in the harvest season, which means an increase in supply of foodstuffs as well as a reduction in price of them, which applies to maize too. Maize is a major component of feed, and this rounds up to about 70% of the production cost of eggs. So if you look at it, a reduction in price of maize leads to a reduction in production cost of the eggs, allowing the farmers to sell the eggs at a cheaper prices for the individuals. Alongside that, with the current inflation rate in Nigeria, consumers have reduced their demand for other commodities eaten alongside with eggs, like eating with the eggs such as yam, bread, and the like. So if the demand for that has reduced, this will come along and affect the price of the eggs too.
All right, but we're not seeing that same that happen with chicken prices. Chicken prices that stayed stable, depending on where you're buying your chicken at this point. We're still seeing frozen chicken. The price has stayed stable, even though your report shows that egg prices have dropped.
Yes, that is correct. Instead of the regular identical trajectory in price that we ought to see between chicken and eggs, we are seeing them going in two different directions. But this is mainly because a commodity like chicken, consumers will go for its substitutes such as fish or beef. Unlike eggs doesn't really have that much substitutes and options as likes of chicken. Well, because aside that, Nigeria is a net importer of chicken. And we import chicken a lot into the country. And as of recent, that the exchange rate has been stabilized, it allows importers to bring chicken at a steady rate and sell it to the consumers, which allows the price to be stable, unlike the eggs. Eggs are more sensitive, directly linked to the price of feed. So a change in that rapidly changes the price of eggs in the market, unlike that of the chicken.
We know Nigeria is a leading producer, of eggs in Africa. I think we made about $2.46 billion in revenue, or that's the projected revenue for 2025. But if you look at the projected revenue for a country like China, looking at $72.98 billion revenue from eggs. What can we learn from them?
Yeah, we have a lot to learn from a country like China. China is making big use of innovation with modernized farming and use of technology in their research and their breeding of crops. So Nigeria has a lot to learn from a country like China, alongside with Brazil. Brazil is also a major exporter of chicken, and this is usually due to their chain supply and the logistics of it. And Nigeria has a lot to improve on that in terms of better road connection, reduction in the middleman services between the farmers directly to the buyer.
All right, I got so much to unpack there, but we'll keep tracking those prices, see if they, stay stable, and maybe chicken will join the eggs at some point. Thank you so much, Alamin Vincent, an FDC, an analyst with Financial Derivatives Company. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, let's move on.